The church in Zimbabwe faced a lot of persecution. That is the Anglican Church. For the past 5 years, church property was forcibly taken away from us in the Diocese of Masvingo, Diocese of Harare, and Diocese of Manicaland. And we had to leave some of our church buildings to go and worship elsewhere. Our schools, some of our schools were taken over, some of our clinics were also taken over. We went through a very difficult time. And I know during that time, you were with us in spirit, you were with us in prayers. And I thank you very much for your prayers during that time when the church in Zimbabwe was under persecution. We have been rededicating our churches because most of our churches were being used for other things other than for divine motion. So it was proper and fitting that way to rededicate those churches. In the Diocese of Masvingo, 7 of our churches were taken over, including our big mission, the Ramombe mission, where we have a high school, a primary school, and a clinic, and a very big congregation. The Ramombe Primary School is also linked to the Cathedral school here. And that was taken over. We have had quite a number of challenges. Clergy, yes, they're quite hardworking, and most of them, they do work in rural areas, and they do have 4 to 5 churches to 1 priest, and they have to walk long distances of up to even 10 kilometers or even 20 kilometers. And as a diocese, we managed to get, in the past 10 years, 12 motorcycles, which are being used by some of the clergy in rural areas. But 12 are not enough. Some still have to walk long distances to either conduct a church service, bury the dead, or do some pastoral work. So we are still in need of more motorcycles so as to give to our clergy so that they will be mobile. We narrated some of the successes and challenges that as a diocese, as a church, we are facing. And I will go through some of the successes and challenges. At the formation of the diocese, there were only 2 priests. And as Father Nicholas said in his sermon, Diocese of Masvingo covers about a quarter of Zimbabwe. It's a very vast diocese, and it's rural. There were only 2 priests. And I had to rely on lay ministers, the subdeacons, the catechists, who would go out on Sundays and conduct church services. And as a church, we then made a commitment that we needed to train clergy. And after 10 years, we now have 25 clergy. And this year, there are 6 who are due for ordination, and that will give us a figure of 30. So I think we have achieved. The other achievement was that throughout the diocese, laity were very much interested in putting up new church buildings, especially in the rural areas. Some of the church buildings were not in a good condition. So through the encouragement of standing committee and the bishop, the people in the diocese started putting up quite a number of buildings. And 2 years ago, I remember when Canon Bruce, Gardner, and Sister Sylvia and Stephen visited that Diocese of Masvingo, I took them out to some places where some of these buildings are coming up. Congregations are also building better priest accommodation, better houses for clergy, again, especially in the rural areas. And as a diocese, I think we've done well in the past 10 years, because quite a number of churches have been built, quite a number of priest houses have also been built. The other achievement is that of income generation projects that we are undertaking in the Diocese of Masvingo. We do not only preach the gospel, but we also make our presence felt within communities by having people to be involved in income generation projects such as peanut butter making, chicken rearing, piggery projects, market gardening, sewing. And these are mainly done in rural areas. And they have helped quite a lot to improve livelihoods. We are also building a clinic in Buhera at St. Bernard Mission, Chimvuri. The people in that area have to walk about 50 kilometers to get to the nearest health center. And we have already begun work, and we are hoping that before end of this year, that clinic will be operational. We have also distributed over 60,000 treated mosquito nets in the past 10 years in areas where there's malaria, that is in Buhera and in Chiri. And again, from the reports that we received from clinics within those areas, we have contributed towards the reduction of people, numbers of people who get malaria.
There's a lot that, of course, needs to be achieved. As a church, our mandate is to do mission within the diocese, and when we are doing mission, we are looking at things like evangelism. We want to continue doing evangelism even in other parts of the diocese which we have not reached before. And as part of mission, again, we are into relief and development programs, and we want to go to other areas and introduce relief and development programs to communities, especially in the rural areas. That's our mandate as a church. We are supposed to do that, not only to preach the gospel, but also to look into the lives of people and try to upgrade or improve people's lives.
So this partnership has been alive for a very long time, and in the Diocese of Masvingo, we have benefited a lot from this partnership. And it is our prayer and hope that we continue to maintain this link.